Hello, hello, hello. I was just making sure that I had unmuted the mic. We're only a couple of months into the new system, and when we're giving you the countdown, our mics get muted, and then we have to hand. Anyways, welcome to the Kevin Ross Emery Show with
Ashley Olstein with, how are you?
There we go. So good and ta. Good job, Miss Ashley.
Back at you. I would love to talk about your chapeau.
Well, so the little story behind this,
Okay.
you might be able to see the shirt as well. I should actually try to see if I can give you a little bit of a so.
Oh, nice. Nano.
No, that Live Long and Prosper, Star Trek.
Sorry. I'm a more Mindy girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. But anyways, so I wore some combination of this outfit, and now I'm way back, so I got to fix my camera again. Hey,
There you are.
hey, to a Chamber of Commerce event last night, and so I had my little white capri pants on, and actually I wasn't wearing the Star Trek. I was wearing my one that says human, that has the colors of the rainbow and the trans flag.
Nice.
And I was wearing the shirt and I was wearing the hat, and I go in and I had so many people commenting on the hat and on the look. And I looked like I was, going to the beach. I looked like I should be on the beach. There was a woman there that was in a white dress, and I said, who I know, and I was like, maybe we should go sip some Prosecco at Saint Tropez. And she goes, sounds good to me. So I had a networking event this morning, and the woman with the white dress runs the networking event. And she goes, you have to promise me, and it's a Zoom networking event. You have to promise me you will wear the hat to the networking event tomorrow. So this morning I get up, put on the overshirt, put on my Star Trek rainbow, live long and prosper hands, go into this networking event. There's about 40 people there, and we're all in kind of little boxes on the hat. And somebody actually reaches out and said, oh, you make me wish I'd put my hat on. And I'm like, girl, go grab it, go do it, put your hat on. And then suddenly the woman that's running it said, oh, Cindy, I love the hat. And she goes, well, I was encouraged. I was encouraged by Dr. Kevin to put the hat on.
Love it. Love it.
So I thought, I will bring the hat to the show tonight. I mean, tonight's guest is notorious for doing some version of a hat. I have to say, in my opinion, it's not nearly as elegant or has as much joie de vivre. His hat doesn't, this is a statement piece. It's kind of goes into the room before me, so that it helps me get over my shyness, my wallflower, all those parts. So
I feel unprepared. I have some fabulous hats also.
Yeah. I can't say I've got a few. It's a limited collection, but it's probably going to expand.
Love it.
I never know.
Wear it in good health.
I will. So, do you have any? I mean, today is our version of the first Thursday of the month. We got Matt in the waiting room to come in and chat about politics and whatever else that Matt wants to chat about, as we always do, technically the first Thursday of the month.
Well, but the first Thursday of the month, we were all very busy celebrating your birthday.
As it should be.
The independence of our country, or whatever that means.
Well, what that means anymore. Yeah, that's a good question. But you would not believe, here I am, I got, I don't know, 20, 30 people at my birthday party, and I'm there, and somebody had the audacity to say, the fireworks aren't about you, right? I'm like, out, just get out. They're absolutely about me. I mean, they happen every year on my birthday, so of course they're about me. I mean, there are no accidents, there are no coincidences. So, And for listeners, for those of you that are out there that have never heard me say this, I just want to let you know, being born on the 4th of July means I came in with a bang. I'm going to go out with a bang. I'm going to bang my way all the way through. So, ta-da!
Ta-da. Love it.
Do you have any upcoming events or anything that you would like to put on the table before we bring Matt in and go into the fray?
Sure. I do have some stuff coming up. This weekend, I'm headed to a workshop to get my master in angelic Reiki. And then I've got the next 2 Friday nights, so not tomorrow, but the 19th and the 26th. For those who are local to me, I live in Wayland, Massachusetts. We're doing an event at the town beach. So I'll be doing readings on the beach. Yay! Readings on the beach. And then that's on the 19th. And then the 26th, we're going to do readings for a couple of hours and then a sunset Reiki. So like a group healing. So I call it Reiki just so people understand it, but it's really a more general healing for whoever can make it. Just bring a yoga mat. So you can find me at, I'll put in the ticker, my email, and you can email me for information. I don't have a sign up yet. This is all happening real time with the Park and Rec department. So there you go. And then there's some other stuff coming up later in the fall. So one of our guests that I'm not sure when she's going to be scheduled for, but she is going to come on and talk about Aura Soma. And she's going to come and do an event at my studio with Aura Soma, which is a system of color, plant, and crystal energies for the ingredients help balance and calm your energetic system. So she'll come on and talk about that. So some other stuff. It's all fun stuff.
Well, on my side, we have Hun 721, which is coming right up. We have a SIP, which is a spiritual interactive panel at 6 p.m. What is indigeneity? When you can find out more at the SIP, you can email me and I can send you. It's going to be, it will be on the Facebook page, New Hampshire Metaphysical. And you can just go there. It's a free event. You can just go in. We've got a panel talking about this subject. We are going to be, but if you want more information or reminder, or you can email me at kevin@kevinrossemery.com. Again, that is 721, the spiritual interactive panel on what is indigeneity. And then we're doing another one. And again, it's always myself and 2 to 3 other spiritual teachers talking about these subjects. And then on 8/18, we have one called Animal Communications. And we're going to have an exciting panel there. I believe our guest, Stacy, is going to be on that panel. I know I've been trying to make those connections.
I will check with her. And is your panel full? I don't know if I'm
Well, I held the slot open for her. And then when I got it back, she wasn't on there. And so I reached out and I think the email or something got lost, but I'm hoping it's all set. But looking forward to it. I know that Patty Anastasia is going to be on there, who's an animal communicator. And I am blanking. That's in August, but we'll have plenty of radio shows between now and then. This one is also Patty Anastasia, Raina Wilson, myself, and Sam Rochette is going to be on for what is spiritual indigeneity. And I'm taking that off the top of my head. So that's a couple of the things that I've got up. I've got some, pot stirring news going on, but I'm not ready to make any big announcements, but there's some big changes coming. And you just have to stay tuned. Again, if you're interested in going to Ashley's stuff, you can email Ashley at solsticeintuitivearts.com for the Reiki on the beach, for the readings on the beach. And if you are in the Wayland, Mass area, or if you know somebody that's in that general area that may not be on, let them know and forward them Ashley's contact information.
And aside from that, I do remote stuff as well, obviously. So, because everything's on Zoom these days, but you're not limited to in person on the beach. That's just one event or two events.
And I'm going to throw one other plug in because, you know, at this stage in the game, I do a lot of teaching on demand. You know, I have spent 34 years, and 30 of those years easily, I was a very driving force. I've created over 100 unique classes and courses. I have some of them are on DVD. Some of them are available that I did and taped during COVID that I taught on Zoom. Everything from, you know, psychic development to reincarnation, future growth through past lives to ghost. I mean, the list is just endless of the classes and courses that I've created. Some attached to some of the books that I have out. But now it's kind of when the energy comes towards me and somebody goes, I really want, I go, you know what? Here's the number of people I need for that class. And when they show up, I will schedule the class. I don't do I'm going to go out and pound the pavement and put up the flyers and put all the promotions. Yeah. I love to teach, but I feel like I am now at a place in my life where I'm waiting for the students that are ready to come to me, and they'll find me. And it's really fascinating because at this Chamber of Commerce last night, I walked up to this guy and I was just, you know, I'm an ambassador for the chamber. So I try to go around and welcome new people or people that are thinking about joining and buzz around. And at the same time, you know, people, you know, ask me what I do or stuff. But I went up to this one guy, 6'4", big guy, literally a football player. And he like looked at me and he was like, oh my God, you have such an incredible aura. Not exactly what you expect to hear out of a football player, right?
No, not at all.
He's like, you have such an incredible aura. Who are you? And so we started chatting. And at some point, he was like, where have you been? I know I need to talk to you. And I said, you're ready. You're ready. That's why I showed up. You're ready. You weren't ready before, or I would have been there. And so I'm putting that message out. One of the things that's really near and dear to my heart is the Wei Qi healing. And it's based on the books, The Lost Steps of Reiki, which I channeled back in 1995. I have taught it all across the US. I've taught it in France. I've taught it in the UK, Geneva, Spain. I love this. And, you know, Wei Qi, who lived 5,000 years ago in Tibet as a Tibetan monk, what we would call the area of the world today. He's always very careful. He says what you would call Tibet. And he did a system which later part of it became what we think of as modern Reiki, but it's a very much larger system. And he defines it as the process of empowering one to heal oneself. And I have two people that have approached me that they would like to do the level 1 Wei Qi. And I would do it for 4. Actually, the level 1 I would do for probably up to 8. But I definitely have to have at least 3. And so since I've had 2 people come up, I decided I would just put it out there that if you go to Amazon, you can buy my book, The Lost Steps of Reiki. If you've ever done Reiki, been drawn to energy work, you can read the book. You can find me talking about it in a number of different interviews on YouTube, different places. You can, again, approach me if you would like to know more about it. But I am looking for at least that 3rd person so I can schedule that class. And Wei Qi defines it as the process of empowering one to heal oneself. And so this is really a much longer, larger, in-depth system of healing. But I'll put out there for people that just want like certificates on the wall and want to like do a woohoo. Yeah, there's one more thing I can do on my tool belt. This is intense, both time-wise and depth-wise. You do not want to do this lightly. But if you're listening to this and going, oh my God, I literally walked into a shop in New Orleans, and I was brought down there to teach the Wei Qi Reiki, and they carried my book, and I'm there, and this woman comes up, and my book fell off the 3rd shelf and hit her in the head while I was there. No lie.
Love it.
She was like, oh my God. And then she looked and she goes, "Oh, the class is being offered." And then I'm staying there, go, "Yeah, I'm teaching the class." She bought the book. She took the class. She was a student. So I have faith, but I'm just going to put that out there. So we've kept him longer in the waiting wings than usual.
Yes.
But I see him, he's checking things up and he's doing, because a lot of times he'll hop on and go, "Hey, I know I saw it somewhere." So I think he's prepping, which is really scary. Matt prepared. Oh, let's bring him on the stage.
Hello.
Hello. Who's cat? Well, not mine. Mine can't come into the basement.
Fine.
Oh,
No, that's ours. That's Prince. He's very vocal.
Is he like the artist formerly known as?
No, he's a cat. The artist was human.
Oh my God.
You've not spent a lot of time with Matt's sense of humor, have you, Ashley?
Not enough. Not enough.
Welcome to the circus.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the human Prince was also very vocal.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
It's a parallel.
Dr. Kevin, are you still with us on this realm? Because I'm looking at you, everything's blurry. You look like a disembodied head wearing a fancy hat. So you look like a ghost.
I didn't know you had mediumship abilities, Matt. You're channeling me for my audience.
Apparently.
You didn't hear that I died? Nobody told you?
No.
Oh.
The way your head's just kind of floating around. I'm just waiting for you to say, "Ooh," but you haven't yet. Now, see, I was right.
Well, as you may or may not remember, Matt, because I'm having a roof torn off completely, a whole different roof built, a kitchen gutted, an office, and part of that covers my office, because the idiot who did this roof before I bought the house pitched a flat roof towards the house, which led to leaks after a few years. I don't know exactly the timing. I suspect that the people I bought the house from actually covered up the fact that the evidence of the beginning of leaks was showing. I have no way to prove it, and I've had the house for a while now, so there's nothing I can do, and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But so I had to move my office into my basement. So it is just not the kind of, so I'm just blurring it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really wants to. I mean, I actually, this has been great with a heat wave.
Yeah, nice and cool down there.
10 to 15 degrees cooler down here than in the house, at least. So
well, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys want to hear your astrology?
Sure do.
Sure.
Yeah, Matt. There we go. At least I got a smile. I'd like some excitement.
I hope it's something good. I hope you tell me something good about my moon or something fun.
Your moon's going on vacation, and when it comes back, it's going to demand you start having emotions come across your face.
Jeepers. Really?
So on July 21st, we have a full moon in Capricorn. A full moon means something's coming into fullness. July 21st. We also want to go back and we want to look at January 11th. Think about the 10th, 11th, and 12th of January, around that time. If you have any place to go, look at your calendar or see if you keep a journal or you keep notes or anything like that. If you go back, that was the new moon in Capricorn. And the things that at that point you were trying to like manifest or were trying to put into action, any kind of plans, any things like this, they would be coming to fruition on this full moon in Capricorn. And of course, Capricorn is about career. It's about your reputation. It's about how kind of you go into it. It's an earth sign. It's very practical, but it's really considered a good placement in Capricorn is usually a sign of somebody who's destined to be some kind of business leader or just leader in a very practical, grounded way. It's going to be in your fourth house, this full moon, Matt, which means that this is the house of home. It's the house of, it could be the house of mother. It's the house of home. And it's the natural house of Cancer. So it's in its opposite, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It sounds like it would be, but it's not. Because Capricorns really like security. They like to get it through financial and practical. Cancers like security. They like to get it through love language and nurturing and caring, but they both want to have a stable home. So on July 21st, and this would be the 20th, 21st, 22nd, during this little 2 or 3 day period, there may be some things that you started at the beginning of the year that you'd like to change in your home, or you would like to do in your home, or do something. And that these would be good times to bring that to fruition or make that happen. Does that ring any bells? Make any sense, Matt?
It does. It does.
For you, Ash, it's in the 5th house, because it's so funny, because I've done the two of your astrology charts together before, even when it's not. We've got a hi, good evening from Egypt. Hello, Egypt. Glad to have you.
Oh, I recognize that name. I've seen that. Hello, I've seen that person in my chat room during my show.
Oh, well, thank you for following Matt over to this show.
Abdelbagi Hamad. Pleased to meet you.
So with your 5th house, it's your house of creativity. So at the beginning of January, you were probably thinking you wanted to make some things to be more expressive in your creativity or shift your creativity in a way. And because, again, this is all in Capricorn, it could be making money off your creativity or finding a way for your creativity. And creativity can include the spiritual arts.
Yeah.
So I find it funny that you have some events that just kind of popped up, and
Absolutely.
we're not. So, but look during that time period for that to kind of come into a fullness. And the thing about it for both of you that it's in a fullness is, we then have the waning moon. So the energy, if you can launch it during those 3 days, it will go on itself. If you kind of like let it pass you by, the energy becomes a little more difficult and a little bit more difficult to access until you go all the way to your new moon. So we also have the sun, and I'm going to have to look this up for a second. So the sun enters. So the Cancer sun is going to be between 19 and 24 degrees. I need to make better notes. It's going to be between 19 and 24 degrees, which basically means it's going to be hanging out, Matt, in your 10th house and Ashley in your 11th house. 10th house is reputation, career, business. The sun is there. It's shining on you. This is a great time to put energy for you in the 10th house, Matt, that this is a time when there should be a lot of energy to either make a shift or to expand in your business or to do a change in your business where your business is going to actually feel more nurturing, or some kind of nurturing comes into your business. And I know you've made changes, and now your Saturday show is more about supporting and promoting and nurturing bands and artists and trying to help them get out there. During this period, this week until, during this time period, it's going to be in your 10th house, which means the more kind of nurturing and kind of the support that you're doing with that sun in Cancer, the more that it's going to reward your business, and your business can look for some tangible, like either built in your reputation getting spread out, people finding you that maybe have never heard of you before, you getting a more expanded audience. And so for you during this week, Ashley, it is in the 11th house, and that's the house of organizations. If you're doing stuff for Park and Recs, following me right in this week, working in organization, hopes, friends, wishes. It's a time where community and organizations and things like this, the light's shining there, that this is a good time for you to do anything in that area. And it's already been in manifestation because it was in your 11th house last week too. We just didn't talk about it in those terms. I do the astrology a little different every week, kind of depending on what's going on. And actually last week we did do astrology.
Yep.
I did it the week before, and it was a little rushed because we had 2 weeks to do. So a 7-11 to 7-12. So today, starting today, we are in the middle of Venus trining Neptune. And that is just like, let it flow. When Venus and Neptune kind of feed each other, you have to be careful. They're both in water signs. So if something is easy, just ride with it. If something feels at all resistant, just don't. If you don't have to do it today, don't have to do it tomorrow, don't do it. This is not procrastination. This is just not swimming up tide. This is like the things that are flowing, just flowing for you, are really the places to go for both of you it would have started yesterday, today, tomorrow. All of this has a 2 or 3 day window. The height of that is today, but you were going to be feeling it yesterday, and you'll feel some of it tomorrow. And again, for Matt, that is in the 10th house for you. And it's kind of making a connection between the 6th house, which is a house of how can I serve others, and how can I be a practical service of others, and how can my service of others help me build my business, my career, my reputation out in the world. And so they're playing very nicely. So again, coming in yesterday, today, tomorrow, maybe even the next day, but this little window right now, I would be looking at things where whatever work you're doing to serve others is going to flow back to you, and pay attention and ride that flow. Does that make sense, Matt?
Yes, it does.
And Ashley, for you, this is between the 10th and the 7th, which means partnerships, and again, career, reputation, how you want to be seen out in the world. So partnerships could be romantic, but it can also be other kinds of partnerships, like the partnerships with Park and Rec that you mentioned. Mm-hmm. This is a flow. It's all going to kind of flow, and the flow is going to take you somewhere. Either, with this energy and these things coming together right now, it's likely that somebody there that's going to show up at whatever these events are probably going to say, hey, could I hire you to do something else? Could you come over and do this? Like, this will help do that. And any other opportunity to do partnership right now is a good time.
Great.
So that is that. Now we do have, as the sun, we do have an opposition with Venus. Venus is moving into Leo, and it is opposing Pluto. And so there is going to be some energy for people to be looking. I'm just saying people in general, to be looking at re-examining my values. Am I living the values I say I want to live? Do I like to think that I am a humanitarian, giving, selfless person, but in actuality, if I look really close, I say it more often than I am it. I'm kind of having this, I want to take care of the world, after my nail appointment, after my hair appointment, after I get my massage, after I get my, after I spend a little time in my hot tub, and don't forget my pedicure, and, and then I have some time for humanitarian 15 minutes before dinner. So there's going to be a little bit of crashing there with this kind of back and forth of, are you really doing this? For you, Matt, that Pluto is in the 4th house. And so there may be some energy on the 12th, 13th, 14th, stuff like this, that as you're doing this stuff in your house, that it may kind of question you. You may say, do I have too much stuff? Is the stuff I have the right stuff? Is it really, is my house and my home representing who I am now? Or may it be somehow representing a version of me that I am have moved past or am trying to move past. Like it's that kind of energy. For you, that Venus is in the 11th, so that and the 5th. So it's I create, we create. Where is the challenge? Where do I have to make the delineations between being a sole creator, creative, and knowing that I get to keep my values, my ideas, my visions purely mine, where over here, if I'm going to go out in the world and I want to serve the world is going to impact it, and there may be shift or change or compromise as I do it. So for that going on for you, Ashley, again, I would just point out that one of the things to look at here is that you may go do this park and rec and something comes out of it, but somebody does something and you go, well, that's not really quite the way I do it. But it may not be about the way you do it if the outcome is going to serve a different purpose. Like if you can see that, yeah, it's not, obviously never do anything against your values, but it's, sometimes you just got to give them a laugh and a dance and seltzer down their pants, and that's what they want. But if you see that it's going to lead to something else, that's an old saying. Both of you are probably too young to remember it.
I don't know that one.
I'm officially old. Do you remember it, Matt? You like some old stuff besides liking me.
What was the saying again?
Laugh and a tickle and a seltzer down your pants.
I've definitely never heard that in my life.
A little laugh, a little dance, a little seltzer
Sounds
down
like-
your pants.
Was that from like the 1920s?
The original Batman movie that the Joker used.
Oh,
So it's not that old. I mean, it's
okay.
80s. But
I
Okay.
was definitely around, that's for sure. I just didn't watch a lot of Batman.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that.
Batman movie. I think that was, but the line actually existed before that, before he said it. The line might have been in the original comic book.
Ah,
Okay. So we also have on 7/15, we have Mars, and it is conjuncting Uranus, unpredictability, energy, unpredictability, things happening, things that could give you spurts of energy or stick you in the mud, depending on where it's playing out and where it is for you. But when Mars and Uranus, because Uranus, Mars is kind of moving along. It's our planet of energy. It's how we move through the world. And Uranus is unpredictability. So however you normally move through the world, expect that it's going to get upset. If you're somebody that's like zoom, 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 you're going to go zoom. And if you're somebody who goes, I like to take it slow. Oh my God, the hill's sliding out from underneath me and I'm moving much faster than I'm comfortable with. For you, it is in the 8th house, Matt, which is death and rebirth, which tells me that some kind of transformation, some kind of change that you have been contemplating making in your life. And this is on 7/15, but you're going to feel it again a few days before, a few days after. That if you've been like, I want to do this change slow and methodical, something's going to happen. And it's going to be like, I got to snap on it now. Like, I got to move quickly. I'm not comfortable moving this quickly. Or if you want to really move quickly on something, you're going to go, if I push this, it's going to break. I'm going to have to take a deep breath. It depends on where your natural energy would be in this situation. It's going to throw you out of balance. For you, Ashley, it is in the 9th house, 7/15. Higher education, institutions, not organizations. That's the 11th. Institutions, higher education, how you do things. So 7:15, when are you going for the training?
Tomorrow. So I'll be home by the 15th, but I've got some other stuff brewing.
Yeah.
Not work stuff, personal stuff brewing Monday, Tuesday. So
again, look that there's going to be a little window there. And for you in that 9th house, that something is either going to move quicker than you're comfortable or not as quick. But again, there's that energy of like kind of unpredictability and having to kind of give in to the universal flow. Sometimes the way to get to the bottom of the hill is to be riding the avalanche.
roll down it.
Roll down it.
Yeah.
That's the astrology for the week.
That was a lot. Thank you. So much stuff. I'm looking through my astrology flashcards right now.
So, Matt, how much of it made any sense at all to you that you felt like maybe there is something to this shit?
No, a lot of it made sense.
Good. I might convert you yet.
Hmm.
To astrology, Matt. To astrology.
Oh, I was going to say, my goodness, Dr. Kevin. I wouldn't look good in one of those hats, if you know what I mean.
Well, you know, you've got what be a hero? You got to be the hero hat. There you go. So now the rest of our time is kind of yours to lead, Matt. We're throwing you under the bus. What's going on that you think we should be talking about? Or what do you think people aren't talking about that they should be?
Oh, I don't know what people aren't talking about that they should be. I mean, there's really one front burner issue at the moment that's kind of dominating everything, and that's the 2024 election, in my view, is already over. And I guess
I
begrudgingly, congratulations to MAGA.
can't. Not yet.
There was well, you know, that debate recently. I mean, we basically saw in real time Joe Biden handing the keys to the White House to his opponents. So, yeah, this one's over, kids. Sucks. Breaks my heart to say it, but this one's over.
So the only stopgap, if you are correct, and I'm going to say if you are correct, I mean, it's not too late. Biden could still step down, and God knows if anybody else goes up against him, not Biden, but if anybody else goes against the tramp, I don't want to give his name airtime. If anybody else goes up against the tramp, he's got some real cognitive deficits showing up big time. And, it wasn't just, Biden stumbled during the debate, but so few people are talking about, what was it, 317 fact-checked lies or something that Trump said. And we know MAGA is not going to change. This is all for the independents. Mm-hmm. The independents are the ones that's going to make the difference. You've been preaching that since I had a little hat like you're wearing before it expanded. And, to get the independents to see the cognitive ability of Trump is really not good these days. If you're looking at the transcripts of the speech he's saying and the stuff and the nonsense, I mean, would I like to see Biden pass the torch to somebody else? Yes. I think if he did, that I don't think it's an over game. If he doesn't, I think it's going to be an old-fashioned horse race, but I still don't think it's settled. I mean, I think that there's going to be some dependency on how well do they get the message out of, did you read what he said? And of course, I'm sure you've looked into Project 2025 and Agenda 47. Ashley, do you know what we're talking about with Project 2025 or Agenda 47?
I do not.
Matt, you want to explain those?
It's basically just the Heritage Projects, which is a very conservative organization. It's their sort of blueprint for the future. And, rolling back rolling back LGBTQ plus rights and
Mhm.
eliminating things like Medicare and Social Security, and just, it's kind of a far right extreme conservatives' wet dream, just everything they could possibly want. Yeah, that's basically what it is. But as far as the debate goes, I as you know, as I had said many times, I was dreading it because I've already felt that Biden was likely to lose this election just because of his obvious deterioration. And the debate itself ended up being far worse than I had even imagined. So I was shocked, and I said, no, that's. And by the way, Trump, all the lying with him, I think everyone's kind of desensitized to it. I actually was surprised that early calculations were that he told about 30 lies during that debate, and I was surprised the number was that low. But Trump, he played it smart. He didn't try to overtalk or shout down Biden or anything like that. Not a lot of grandstanding from Trump. He kind of played it straight. And I hate to give him credit for anything because I think he's truly evil. But I will say, just as a political analysis of his performance, I thought Trump was good. He came off, I think, much more focused and in control of his messaging than he does during these freewheeling campaign speeches where he says a lot of crazy stuff. For Trump, I actually thought it was one of his better debate performances in terms of his discipline, and also as someone pointed out, Trump is very animated with his hands when he speaks, whereas Biden is very, if he even tries to be at all animated with his hands move very slowly, like they're just kind of creaking. In every way, I mean, Trump just seemed he seemed younger. I mean, he is younger a few years, but not much, but he seemed so much younger and more vibrant and vital and strong and coherent and articulate, not usually terms I would use to describe Trump. But in contrast with Biden mumbling, losing track of what he was saying at one point. I mean, very early in the debate when Biden declared that we had finally beaten Medicare, I was like, this election is over. And it's showing in the polls. This is, I think it's probably going to be a landslide. Polling data shows all the swing states now are tilting toward Trump. I mean, the blue states will still go to Biden, but swing states, they're all going to Trump. And there's no way to reverse this. They have another debate coming up in September, which obviously will be, very close to the election. And so by that point, Biden will be even a couple months older. It's not going to be any better. If anything, it might be worse. So the only way to save this is for Biden to say he's going to step aside. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people think that that's risky because then you're getting somebody else in there on such a short notice, but it's the only shot. I promise you, I know this with every cell of my being. And again, it breaks my heart, but I don't say this as a prediction. I believe I'm speaking this as fact. If Biden stays in, Biden will lose. There's just no getting around it. And the down ballot effect of that will mean that Republicans are going to have full control when we get into 2025. It's just the reality. And I think both parties are so pathetic and embarrassing. The Republicans, because they've become this cult, this reactionary cult that revolves around Donald Trump, the most obvious con man that I've ever seen in my lifetime, and they treat him like he's the risen Christ. That's pathetic. And the Democrats are also pathetic because this all could have been avoided, and they should have pressured Biden to only serve one term and then be done and get somebody much younger in there who could handle Trump. And they didn't do it. And because long before the debate, I was predicting that Trump was going to beat Biden in 2024. This is how pathetic the Democrats are. And I probably said this the last time I was on with you too. I've been saying this a lot. With the Democrats, you have a party that will tell you all day long Well, we have to save democracy. Our very democracy is at stake. Okay, so what are you going to do to save democracy? Apparently nothing. We're just going to sleepwalk our way into the election and just let democracy be taken by Trump. Oh, but it's very important that we save democracy. Okay, so you're going to fight for our democracy, right? No, we're Democrats. We don't fight for things. We advocate for things. We'll advocate for saving democracy, but fighting for it? Ooh, yeah, not really into the fighting part. I mean, it's like I posted something on social media the other day. It's two sides of a very ugly coin. On one side, you have a party that is so ruthless and vicious that they're willing to resort to outright fraud to try to overturn an election to hang on to power. And then on the other side, you have a party that is so comfortable with losing that they're just like, oh, this is a very important election, but if we lose it, we lose it, whatever. Biden even said as much during that George Stephanopoulos interview. Mm-hmm. When Stephanopoulos asked him, well, are you going to feel bad if you lose? And Biden's like, no, not at all. As long as I know I gave it my best. That says it all. That sums up the Democratic Party. As long as they feel like they did their best, losing is just fine. Not as good as winning, but it's okay. We don't mind losing. And that's, I always say, Democrats will bring a knife to a gunfight. And if it's a knife fight, they'll show up with a plastic spork. So they're not up to this. This all could have been avoided. They're not up to this. No, this election is over. It sucks, but I promise you it is. I know I'm right about this. There's no way I'm wrong on this one. And it breaks my heart. I've never wanted so desperately to be wrong about something in my life, but I'm not.
Time will tell.
We don't have much time. The election's only a few, think about it. November will be here before you know it. We don't have much time to right this ship. And every day that goes by that Biden is dug in and is showing no signs of leaving, we need to do this. If we're going to have any chance at all, we need to make this change now. But no one can force him to do it.
Did you see the letter that George Clooney wrote?
Yes. Devastating. And he's right. He's right.
It's all just really sad. But so I agree with you. I don't think that this race is over. Trump and Biden, call it quits. But I'm holding on hope that the Democrats will bring someone else in and Biden will step down.
The question now becomes, because I've looked at, because you can never trust polling numbers at all. Polling numbers I saw was Kamala actually did better than Gavin Newsom, because we look at her as the first choice, and they say that she would definitely grab more of the black vote, which Biden for some reason is losing. Mm-hmm. And women and younger people she polls better with. Mm-hmm. And Gavin doesn't poll quite as well. I don't know if you know the reference I made. It came out shortly after the debate. Like they polled who would we stick in here that could go toe to toe with Trump and would poll better. Did you see that one?
I've seen so many polls and so forth. I'm not sure.
You know who the number one was?
Who?
Michelle Obama.
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny about that too? Yeah, she polls very well. You know what's funny about that too? If the Democrats actually did that, they'd be fulfilling a right-wing conspiracy theory, because for years and years and years now, the right-wing conspiracy theorists have been claiming that Michelle Obama is ultimately going to somehow take power.
The one I saw said that she polled at 55 to 45 better than Kamala, better than Gavin. It was better than Gretchen. Mm-hmm. I mean, they polled 5 or 6 different people. And she was she was like above all of them by several percentage points in a Trump matchup.
Yeah.
And she left it her last.
Uh-oh, you froze up. Oh,
Yeah. She left it in an Oprah interview a few months ago where people were saying, why don't you run for president? She goes, I don't think that's my calling. I've never been drawn to want to do that, blah, 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 blah. But she also said at the end of it, but at the end of the day, if my country needed me, I don't know that I could say no.
Right.
Or something like that. She left it like, okay, that crack is there. So what do you think? Do you think if Michelle stepped in that the Democrats would have a chance?
It sure sounds like it. I'm a little bit skeptical, but I mean, I think anybody would be better than Biden at this point. But hey, if sticking her in there is what's going to save us from Trump, by all means, do it. I'm open to anything.
They had a ticket, which would be the nightmare ticket of the conservatives that they proposed, which was Michelle Obama and Pete Buttigieg for VP.
Yeah.
You could collectively hear MAGA roll over in its grave.
Yeah.
If that ticket went up and won.
But there are some other very strong potential candidates like Gavin Newsom, of course, Governor Newsom of California, Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. You've got Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania. There's a lot of people who I think, for example, on a debate stage would eviscerate Trump and would be very appealing to independents. So again, I go back to, if Trump is elected, and he will be, it's I mean, the Democrats will have deserved to lose, because I mean, when you look at the Democratic Party, how incompetent do you have to be to actually lose a presidential election to a convicted felon? Well, apparently you only have to be that much incompetent. Whatever the level of incompetence of the Democratic Party is currently, you just have to be that level of incompetent, and you can lose to a convicted felon. I mean, I'm so angry at all. I'm angry at all establishment politicians. I'm angry at the Republicans for the way they just fall in line and sell out to Trump. And I'm angry at the Democrats for allowing all of this to happen. How is it that like I foresaw all of this, and I don't claim to have any psychic ability, but I find all of this to be very predictable. Like, how did I know? But the establishment of the Democratic Party somehow didn't see any of this coming. I knew it was coming. I've been saying for more than a year, I thought Biden was probably going to lose to Trump. The only thing I didn't see was how bad that debate was going to be. I mean, that was brutal. I don't know. I'm so angry. I'm furious at the Democrats for letting this happen. And they're just, I mean, you've got some Democrats who, of course, are speaking up, much too little, too late. And then you've got other Democrats who are sticking with Biden. They're like, no, we're just going to keep sleepwalking forward. And then we'll all put on our surprised faces when Trump wins in a landslide, which it very well might be a landslide. If he takes all the swing states, oh my God. It's infuriating to me.
So Matt, tell us how you really feel. I hate how you hold back and have no passion to your comments.
Yeah. I just wish I had something positive to offer about the whole situation, but I don't. There is nothing positive to say about any of it, unfortunately.
The positive thing would be Biden steps down or falls down, and somebody else goes in place well in time for the September debate, and romances the independents. Now, you've also always said Trump's going to say whatever he needs to say to get into office, to keep his base happy, to do these things. What he'll actually do in office, how much will he give a care about the Heritage Project. I mean, he's got his Agenda 47, which is on his website, which is also pretty scary, not quite as scary as the Heritage Project. But, you know, he may have been more disciplined on that debate stage. He wins presidency and he basically kind of figures out that he has beat the ever going to prison thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could just golf through his whole presidency.
Yeah, that's the thing. He may not do any of these things that we're worried about. He may not. He might just be like, "Hey, all right, I made it. I'm president again. I got out of going to prison. Yeah, I'm just going to play golf." Because I don't think Trump, at his core, take rolling back LGBTQ plus rights, for example. Do you think Trump really cares? Like, I don't think he cares about. I'm not saying I think he possibly actually does care about LGBTQ plus people. I'm sure that he doesn't, because I don't think he's capable of. I think he's a sociopath. I think he only cares about himself. But do you think he actually cares about, like, do you think it's a priority in his mind? Oh, we have to roll back some of those protections? No, I doubt it. I've never seen anything from him that struck me as aggressively anti-gay, for example. So, you know, it may, that may be one saving grace. He might just breathe a big sigh of relief once he's reelected and then kind of isn't that excited to enact all these things. But although that's probably being overly optimistic. I'm looking for some optimism somewhere, anywhere I can find it, because I'm not feeling much.
It's the best of a bad situation.
Yeah. And it's a bad situation.
It really is.
Yeah.
The only leveraging if and until Biden steps down is to just keep pushing into people's face, you know, Trump's crazy talk, his Agenda 47, Project 2025. There will be people, and there is definitely anyone but Trump. They're like, prop Biden up, I'll still vote for him. I will never vote for him. And that's not just blue. There are independents, and there are actually some Republicans.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, there are. There are.
Yeah. That are just like, I don't care. I mean, Pence has come out and said he won't vote for, you know, Trump.
Yeah.
And most of the people that worked for him, unless they're now over at the Heritage Foundation writing Project 2025, like Ben Carson, they've all said they won't vote for him.
Right.
You know, they're all afraid. They're afraid to see him in office, even if they left on good terms with him when his thing fell apart. So I never have Matt's pessimism.
But I don't feel it's pessimism. I feel it's just realism. It's just, you know.
Well, it just is. And the big if nothing changes.
Yeah.
And what do we know?
Everything changes all the time.
Everything changes all the time. So I think it's interesting that there has been some block of some of the Project 25 stuff. I keep on reading on Facebook, like, you know, one of the memes people were putting out, they got shut down temporarily for a while because they said it wasn't completely accurate. I found one meme that I've been able to put out all the time that has little blocks that says all the areas that the Project 2025, and I misquoted the 317. It wasn't the lies. I think 317 times the Project 2025 had Trump's name in it.
Oh, okay.
Besides the fact of I knew 317 was a number. Yep, that's what it was. I just checked.
It's that size. Well, we are out of time. We have 15 seconds.
Oh,
and
wow.
Next week we have Tom Palladino back.
Yes.
Talk about scalar healing, talk about the journey Ashley and I took with getting scalar healing every day from his last visit to today. So come join us next week. Matt, I will see you next month. And who knows, maybe we'll all be wearing Michelle for President t-shirts.
Oh, how fun.
They'll be tank tops because her arms are divine.
Yes. They are.
Which we bought from her campaign.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Matt, great to see you.
Yes, you as well. Thank you.
See you soon. Enjoy your the full moon and your 5th house.
Thank you.
Yes.
4th house. Mine's the 5th. Yours is the 4th.
Right, right. Either way, it's a lot of homes. I feel very wealthy.
Goodbye.
All right.
Everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.